Hey, thanks again for tuning into Sin's Workshop. Today we're going to be talking about A Curse of Dark and Lonely by Brigid Kemmerer. This is, your classic Beauty and the Beast retelling. That doesn't make it bad. In fact, I think this is probably one of my more favorite Beauty and the Beast retellings because there's a lot of freshness to it and there's a lot of modernity to it. Now I know this book came out a year ago, and the sequel just came out. The sequel is, I'm currently listening to it very slowly as an audiobook. But I really, I like this novel. And like I said, it has a lot of modernity to it as far as the storytelling goes. I mean, you have Harper, and she's from Washington, D.C., and then she stops a kidnapping, and then she's whisked away to the kingdom of Emberfall. Sorry, my allergies are, really bad today, so I'm, super congested, but I do have to record, so we're going to be recording. So it makes it a little hard to breathe because I feel like I'm not getting enough oxygen, but you don't really care about that. Like I was saying, there is a lot of modernity to it. She is from Washington, D.C., and she is whisked away to this land of Emberfall. And I really like that idea that you're bringing a character from a place every reader has at least heard of to this mystical land of Emberfall. You have the enchanted castle, and you've got this curse, but I like how, even though the world is kind of going, it's not really going, and no one really, sees it. Once again, it's kind of more like the Beauty and the Beast movie in that sense, the live-action one, in that sense, because it's the same season year after year after year, as the curse is. It's the same repetitive thing year after year after year. But no one, he thinks it's been 300 seasons, so, 300 years, right? Give or take, we're assuming. It's not really clear. But people around, the little towns around his castle, all his land, and all the people he has to take care of. I mean, if it's really been 300 years, they would have been dead. But life is still going on. They're not registering that, it's the same season over and over and over again. So it's as if they're in stasis, but his land is still, being invaded by another kingdom. I mean, life is still going on, even though it's still existing in this one season. And I think that was, a really interesting way to bring about the magic and bring about the curse, as far as the storytelling goes. I need my cup of coffee. So I thought that was an interesting way to bring about the magic, and to bring about the curse for these characters, because it does have some freshness to it. It does have this unique nature that the people, the townspeople, his people of his kingdom aren't really seeing, that it's the same season over and over and over again. They're still going on with their lives. They're still trying to trade, and they're still working. And like I said, it's like they're in stasis. It's like it resets for them. But the world around them isn't resetting. Crops are dying, they're being invaded, and I thought that was a really nice idea to sort of have everything continue to be, going. So, for the land, 300 years have passed, but for everyone, it's just the, same old, and I thought that was a really cool way to bring about the fantasy and bring about the curse. I also do like the fact that Lilith is not, it's a benevolent fairy who's trying to teach him a lesson. She's similar to Amarantha from A Court of Thorns and Roses, because she's just a scorn lover who's just punishing him because he didn't, you know, make good on his promise to be with her forever. You know how Hath and Fury, like a woman scorned, but she also has a stronger vendetta. You know, his father did pretty much exterminate her kind. You know, she comes from magical people who sought refuge in his land, and that initially they were given the refuge, but you know, something happened. I don't want to tell you what because I don't want to spoil it. That ended up exterminating her people, but magic just doesn't go away. It just goes to the next person who has magic. So if you think about it, if 100 people die out of 100 people, 99 of them died. 99 of their magic of all these individuals went to this one person. So that makes her Lilith. Her name is Lilith. Great name choice, by the way. It makes her pretty vindictive and very cruel and very powerful. She is one powerful enchantress, I do have to say, and I do like the fact that she is different. I do like her history and her backstory of how she came to her magic, and I do like how she is evil. She actually is the perfect foil for Harper, who is caring and kind and thoughtful. She's also very eager to learn how to deal with weapons. She wants to know how to throw knives. She wants to sword fight. She wants to be an archer. You know, this is a land so, you know, far removed from what she's used to, but she doesn't let that stop her. I do also want to note that she is a disabled character. She has a limp due to cerebral palsy. I really think that's great that Kemmerer has created this really strong female protagonist with a disability. I don't think there are enough of main characters with disabilities represented in literature, so I do want to say props to her for that, because she doesn't let her limp stop her, and everyone's just like, oh, she got the limp fighting a battle. She's like, no, I was born this way, and I can still kick your ass. And I like that about Harper. She doesn't let anything stop her, because for most of her life, her brother has sort of stopped her from living. It's not to say he's a bad brother, you know, he's just, you know, in our world we tend to treat people who have disabilities as if they're fragile, you know. So he is overly cautious when it comes to her, especially because their dad got them into a lot of mess with loan sharks. So she never really had a chance to prove to anyone in her family that she's strong enough, that she's capable enough to take care of herself, that she doesn't need to be baby. She's not glass, she's not fragile. But in this new world, you know, yeah, they see her limp as a hindrance, but she opens their eyes. She's able to open their eyes and be like, just because I have a limp, that doesn't mean I can't do anything. And for other characters, you know, there's another character who's missing a hand. She says, no, he can be your lieutenant. He has experience. She's like, he has another hand. He can do this. Yeah, I think that's really great. She's opening their eyes of Ren to showcase, you know, that their idea of what makes you capable is up to interpretation, you know. You are as capable as you feel, you know. I mean, just look at the Paralympics. There's like, I am a healthy 28-year-old young woman, and there's no way in hell I can do anything remotely close to what these people do, you know. No, I couldn't even run track in high school. Volleyball, though, I did like volleyball, but that's neither here nor there. What I'm saying is, you know, it's really great to have a character who is disabled prove to people that a disability doesn't mean she's incapable of doing things. I also What I also did like and appreciated is the romance part. It's, yes, any Beauty and the Beast story is going to have romance, but Kemmerer doesn't shove it in your face. In fact, she kind of takes a step back from it. She builds the friendship foundation between Ren and Harper first. In fact, Ren is just like, I don't expect you to fall in love with me. It's never worked before. I don't expect it to work now. How about we just be friends? And I think that's great because Harper becomes so invested in his people that, like I said, she's eager to learn how to fight the way they fight here, and she's eager to kind of like do what she needs to do here. I mean, she pretends to be a princess from the land of DC, promising an army to help, stop this invading army from conquering his land. I think that's great that Kemmerer focuses on building up this friendship dynamic before going head on into romance. In fact, we don't really see any romance for the entirety of the book. So it's kind of left up in the air whether she loves him truly or just, cares about him deeply like a friend. It's really left up in the air for these characters, and I really like that. It's something else to be explored in the sequel, which hopefully I'll get to finish soon. So that's what I appreciated about this novel, that it doesn't just shove the romance in your face, that it builds a foundation of friendship between these characters. Whether their friendship is going to be ruined in the sequel, it looks like it's going that way, but I mean, I don't know. That's what's great about it. You don't know what's going to happen. And I like that Harper has a brother, and I like that her brother has a boyfriend, and they're both kind of caught up in all of this fantasy. I think that's a great way to tell a story, especially if you're going to be doing a retelling. You add new elements, you add fresh elements to make the story different and hold up on its own against all the other massive retellings, because there are like 100 Beauty and the Beast retellings. I think I've probably read like 50 of them. I really love Beauty and the Beast. So, once again, this was A Curse of Dark and Lonely by Brigid Kemmerer. I do highly recommend this book. I think I'm going to give it 4.5 stars, just because the pacing kind of lags a little bit. But overall, it is a really good retelling as far as retellings go. So definitely recommend it. Check it out from your local library, and if money's not too tight, please remember to support your local bookseller and purchase it from your bookseller. I hope everyone has a great rest of your day, and as always, happy reading!